and I literally found all the materials and built that little design. And then somebody said, "Hey, that's a great idea. Can I buy one of those from you?" And before I got the next one finished, it was somebody else said, "Hey, could I get one? And could I get one?" And then before I knew it, I had built the manufacturing facility in the local town, and we were shipping thousands and thousands of those units all over the countryside. And I ended up designing about 11 different products, but then I bought a couple of other companies that I ended up having 22 different products.
Wow.
So as a very young kid, I made a lot of mistakes because I really didn't know much about what I was doing. I just was so determined that I was going to make things happen that I just continued to educate myself every day on how to become a better business person.
That's wonderful. And, the interesting part is it's not just that. You went ahead and took that company national to international. Then you took another company national to international. And the interesting part that I'm sure my listeners don't know is how we actually met, that it was through a like-minded, what I would say, heart space of how we choose to live our life, that everyone knows that I have my I Am Grateful For ring, and I had given it to film producer Gary Goldstein, and he happened to be wearing it when he met Darrell. And Darrell can tell the story better than I, since I was not there, but the way that Gary described it back to me was that Darrell was describing his story to Gary, and Gary somehow must have brought up about how it must have been important to be grateful. And the next thing you know, Darrell's pulling out of his pocket a coin that says on it, exactly like the ring, "I am grateful for ... So I think like-minded minds, like-minded hearts had brought us together. Because tell us a little bit about what you do with those rings.
Well, about 7 or 8 years ago, because I have taken 5 companies, national and international now, throughout the course of my career. And so about 7 or 8 years ago, I had the good fortune of being in the seminar business at that time, as well as a variety of other things. And I had just given a talk to a group in Nashville, Tennessee, and I lived in Chattanooga, Tennessee at the time. And I was on my way home from that talk, and I was daydreaming, which I do often. I think daydreaming is a skill that needs to be nurtured rather than people scolding you for daydreaming. I think people need to be encouraged to daydream, because that's where creativity starts.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I actually have a whole chapter in my book on that. Exactly that.
So I was daydreaming about the fact that I knew that I had had a magical life. Things had, certainly I'd worked hard. I'd spent a lot of time educating myself. I really, truly took the opportunity to become an expert at everything that I was focusing on, each of those 5 different companies. Certainly you're not an expert on everything, but all of the things that I needed to be an expert on for those particular ventures, I either became an expert or I hired experts to be a part of my team. And so I said, you've had a magical life. You've had so many things that have been really wonderful for you. Doesn't mean I didn't have adversity along the way. We all have things that challenge us, and you have to overcome them. But if you look back, I still say I had a magical life.
Right.
And I said, the one thing that I really would like to do differently is I get the chance to see and do so many things. I get to be a part of a lot of great people's lives, but I notice that I'm always saying to myself, when I get to that next level, life is going to be so much more fulfilling. Like I'll have so much more excitement about things when I've gotten to this level. And then you get to that level and you're saying, okay, now when I get to this level, I'm going to be so much more excited about everything. And I said, I need to remind myself how to be more grateful for today, more so than I had been. No question, we still want to achieve more, because the more we have, the more we can do for others, but yet be more grateful for the day that we have today. And so I literally said to myself, I'm going to put a gratitude coin together that on one side says gratitude coin, and then on the other side says I am grateful for, so that I would carry that coin in my pocket, and I would, as I pulled some money out of my pocket each day or whatever the case may be, I have my hand in my pocket several times a day, and touching that coin would be the venue to help me remind myself, live in today more so than you have in the past. And that will teach you to be more grateful, and I believe it'll make me a happier person. So that was my message to myself, and literally 30 seconds after I had that thought, I said, if I need that message to myself, so does the rest of the world. And so what I need to do is not just make up one coin for me. I need to mass produce those coins, and I need to give them out to everyone that I touch every day. And so over the course of the last 7 or 8 years, I literally have personally given out about 15,000 plus of those coins.
Wow, thank you. Wow. So,
and I have to say that, as I give those coins out, and I love to give those coins out, because I tell people that I believe that although they get a great gift when they touch that coin every day, and it really drives, just like your ring does, it drives the subconscious mindset of being grateful so much deeper that it really truly makes you a happier person, and it will change your life. And it is a great gift that I'm able to give to people, in that I feel like I get the greater gift, because every day of my life people tell me, oh, you've made my day today because you gave me that and you told me that story, or 2 weeks later or 6 months later or a month later, I'm running into some of those people and they tell me the stories of what that coin has done for them in their life. And so I feel like I get the greater gift of giving those coins out.
I'm in total alignment with you on that. I've just started with the rings, as you know, and Darrell's been so great. I'm so grateful he's been helping me to understand, coming up with the idea, and then how do you actually take the next steps to take that to market. And I've been delighted, as, the first people that I've given it out to, someone's proposed with it, someone has used it as their wedding ring. There's a charity now that's buying a bunch of them so that they will help to fund rescuing sex slaves and building villages in Africa. And, those things just warm my heart about truly being grateful for whatever is going on in the moment. Because, Darrell, like you said, you had the unfortunate experience of walking around with your face being disfigured. So it forced you to have to go within to understand your own inner beauty and your own self-confidence. And through that, I think when I first talked to you, you said, yeah, I've made gobs of money, but what's more important now to you is really explaining to people how you go from a really difficult spot where kids aren't being nice to being able to retire young and to give back. So tell us a little bit about your book and some of the stories that are in there.
Well, as you know, Jenny, I took 3 years off of life. I had a few people pass away that were very close to me, and it helped me come to the decision of, I just don't want to keep working